Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sunday GT3 Championship. We're live here at TRACKILICIOUS for round 5 of this very, very close section here. We've got Brands Hatch here tonight, one of the best one of the best UK tracks that there is. My personal favorite, other than Silverstone. I like the variation in height, but the one man who loves Silverstone in the booth with me tonight, talking you through the action, Mike Nause, as always. Mike, how
Absolutely.
are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and I may love Silverstone, but that doesn't mean that Brands Hatch has a special place in my heart. 2.4 miles or 3.9 kilometers here with a whopping 9 corners, 6 to the right and 3 to the left. It's going to be a bit of a challenge out there tonight for these drivers, and I certainly am looking forward to it. Holy smokes indeed. Thank you to everybody that has dropped subs so far, and welcome as well everybody here in chat. I see we got Jake Wells, we got AV6 Scott, we got Steven Tomazic, as well as Steven Tomazic. So thank you guys so much for your support. And TNR Matt, thank you for the follow.
Support's been nuts here. It keeps us going and keeps us, the very large TRACKILICIOUS machine churning. But man, this series has been great so far. We've got 4 drivers that I want to highlight out there, Mike. And it's a little bit of a car situation if you're familiar with that movie. The top driver, Quinn Smith, sits ahead of the pool with Kenneth Portis, Ricardo Rivera, and Ollie Raza trailing. Those top 4 are only 12 points apart and an average of 4 points between the drivers. Absolutely insane stuff we have out here.
Yeah, it's anyone's game in the championship, and 2 Ford Mustangs competing for the reins of the title, the newest edition ACC. And then, of course, the little bit of a lone wolf, or interesting choice, I would say, the Honda NSX, currently running in P2 in the championship. I'm not sure we expected that, Carson.
Yeah, I mean, poor machinery, but man, does he make that thing look good. McLaren and the Honda NSX really have had no difference in performance when Kenneth Portis is driving that car. And Kenneth Portis, the second so far in this championship. I cannot even believe he's got that car so far. I believe he won at Indy and a few others. So I think he's just basically been in the top 5 otherwise, other than 1 7th finish, which was his drop round. And that is important for the status of this championship, is all these guys have a drop round. One of them, Ricardo Rivera, has missed a race, so we really can't afford having too poor of a finish because it's not going to get eliminated. But, you know, I'd say pretty good spot for Portis. He's only dropped to 7th.
Yeah, certainly is. And looking at Ricardo Rivera's times in the free practice session, they were looking very competitive, so I'm certain that we are going to be seeing a decent result out there tonight from him. And as it stands, we are going to be getting that qualifying session rolling underway. We got about 12 minutes left here. So why don't we head down to the action real quick, Carson? Or actually, no, before that, why don't you talk us through our calendar that we have here at TRACKILICIOUS?
Oh, man, do I love this calendar. Tomorrow night, I will not get caught by a tornado. I'll be with you and Mike tonight on the GT4 Rookies and GT4 Open Championship at 8 p.m. Eastern and 9:30 Eastern, respectively. They'll be at Kalami. So it'll be some great racing there. Don't see GT4s too often. After that, on Tuesday, we've got the Street Stock Championship. We're doing a dirt race at USA International. So it should be fun if you want to go jump in that, get your taste in dirt racing. A lot of those guys doing their first ever dirt races, so it should be fun. On Wednesday, Synth Drive will return on the 29th. The AI Assetto Corsa F1 series with GT3 West Coast continuing to Laguna Seca this weekend on a 20-minute double. Super Formula Lights go on their second to last round. I know that calendar says July 18th. It's July 25th will be that Thursday at Oschersleben with Road Atlanta. Oschersleben with Road Atlanta the next week. And as always, the crown jewel of the TRACKILICIOUS community, the GT3 Sunday Championship, starting right now. We're live at Brands Hatch round 5, 6 will be at Spot Franker Shops, and 7 on the coast of the Adriatic at Misano. But one thing that I will not fail to mention, we've got an amazing Road to SRO Community World Classic coming up as well. Sorry, put you on there as we jump on Bathurst on the 27th. So 6 days away this Saturday. Come join us for the 6-hour Enduro. It'll be me and Mike talking you through the action atop the mountain and below. But thank you very much to our many Patreons for your support. It keeps the machine floating, like the support on stream. This is a way to get more personal in your support of TRACKILICIOUS with monthly donations. So thank you very much to everybody in there. I know there's some that are off of it, but we'll get it updated. We'll get it updated soon, eventually. So thank you very much to everybody involved in that series and involved in the Patreon. But Mike, how about we go jump down into qualifying? And one thing I want to jump into immediately on the times. You know, there is a new driver at the top of the times, and I do not see him at all. But if you can find him, we've got Carr. Yeah, he's in 23rd right now. He hasn't set a time. He's right below me in that Mustang. He's been the fastest last week at Panorama, barely lost out to Quinn Smith. at Panorama last week in a amazing overtake that happened on the bottom of the mountain using a back marker, I believe, to get around Carr. But Carr's been setting those fast laps in qualifying, and if he can continue to put that pace up in 1-2s, he won't challenge for the rest of the season, and he will not be able to come to the top of the field. I think he's locked out of the top 5 in terms of points if he wins every single race. But next season, he's definitely a guy to look out for, the Fear Nothing Moto cars jumping in.
Yeah, certainly is, and he will be coming out here very, very soon. The virtual checkered flag has fallen. Any of the even plate drivers that are out on a lap are going to be finishing their lap. Any driver that has not crossed the line will have to return to the pits and make in it, or rather be satisfied, I suppose, with the result that they've been able to put in. We can see now come into the line, Drew Burakovsky, invalidated. Like to see a practice the pit entry there. Casey Schutte, the 6th shooter, running in 6th right now. Some say that is fate. I certainly do. However, I'm not sure he is going to be staying there for an extended period of time. And a full onboard lap for Jace as well. Has Jace already hit the track? It's a great question.
I think he has, but speaking of times, track limits are super unforgiving here. And it's not really that when you it's not like Coda where you go off when you didn't go off. It's when you go off, you have grass and you lose control of the car. Tires get slippy under you, and returning onto the track, you've got either dirt or grass under those tires. And it is like a slip and slide out there in a hot summer day.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those tracks that, especially as you mentioned with the temperature, it's about 25-degree track temp, so we're not quite seeing the boiling temperatures that we can. It is England. We're also not seeing the rain that you might expect for the average British summer. But it is a decent condition out there. I'd say we're going to see some pretty competitive lap times. Fastest lap so far in the 23s I was seeing in the practice server. Honestly, not the times I was expecting. From some of these drivers would definitely be expecting some laps around the 21s, to be completely honest, definitely into the 22s. However, we just haven't quite seen that yet, and the track conditions are optimum, but I'm just not seeing the pace that I would expect from these drivers. I don't know, maybe I just have too high of a standards from some of the esports races that I've been in lately.
Quite the flex from Mike there, but yeah, I mean the pace is different around here. But what I will say is that those top time paces have been very, very close together, and there's only a few tenths separating those top 5 drivers in the section. As one thing I also want to highlight as he comes out here, Carr in that Fear Nothing Moto Mustang has put down 304 laps, the most of any series on any track. Wow, 304 laps. I know he was practicing all weekend. I'm in that server. Every single time I went to check in that server, he was in the VC with somebody working on it. That team is devoted, to say the least.
Did you do the math on how many states they have traveled, Carson? No, not yet. Looks like
I can do it very quickly.
Let's see how long. I'm curious how many miles he has traveled. Now, Brands Hatch is one of the shorter tracks, 2.4 miles. Or in case anybody was curious, about 849 Mercedes AMG GT3s long. If you were to line them up bumper to bumper covering the track, you'd have about 849 of them.
Yeah, and since it is a pretty short track, it's only about 729 miles, which is a massive, massive distance, actually. It'd be like if you went from Chicago to Oklahoma City, I believe, just around that line. So, tons of laps for everybody. I mean, it is going to be tough out there, and it will be tough out there. There's not really much you can do against a guy that knows this track like the back of his hand, or certainly is close to knowing that. As we look around this bowl, he's going to be, I think, all over the top of the scoreboard. Might be Quinn Smith, though, to dethrone him, who sits in that driver's seat of the championship, that first place contributing towards it. He'd be tied with second place Kenneth Portis if he didn't finish in first last week.
Yeah, certainly. And also Jake Wells pointing out that, yeah, 21s I wouldn't expect, to be completely honest. I just expected them near that, a little bit closer. Yeah, and 22s is ripping, absolutely, but we have some pretty quick drivers. And Jake, I feel like you yourself, come on, we know you put a 22 in here. You've had to have. Ricardo will get a 22. That's very true. I think Ricardo has a chance. I think also, I mean, I'm surprised Quinn Smith, again, Wilson Fernandez, Kenneth Portis, Emirates. These are all drivers that easily could be in the 22s, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, almost all those guys have won a championship to reconcile that. Emirates with 1, Ricardo Rivera with 2, looking for his 3rd here, sitting in 3rd in the championship. The 787 car has been on top of it, to say the least, in most series, but he's been struggling here. There's just been so much competition, and that kind of goes towards the state of this league, really, as it slowly approaches esports times, I would say. Very slowly. One day we'll have the esports championship. It's on Saturday. Go check out that bad boy. But that'll start at 11 Eastern.
And it is an optimum track, as you can see in the top right. So the grip is good. It is still, like I say, a little bit warm, but 25? Yeah, I would expect it, but if it's actually 19s, well, definitely, yeah, definitely not, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's a very warm track out there, so tire wear are going to be interesting if we're going to take tires. It's a 75-minute stint. I would guess you're going to take tires, but obviously we don't know the race condition. I believe we'll be starting late and then going into the night as we head to final section. But it has been a great series so far. I cannot even... I don't think I've ever commentated a league with this close of a top 4, and it is to be said, the 5th place driver is only trailing by a few points, maybe about 10 positions trailing, and that's only 25 points or 26 points. So it's just absolutely wild seeing how fast these drivers are and how quick they've been and how varying it's been. Kind of just different winners every week.
Yeah, and there's going to be 2 more races left after this as well, so the championship is thoroughly in the air, and it really is any one of these drivers' games. Ricardo Rivera, Quinn Smith, Kenneth Portis, Ollie Raza, Wilson Fernandez. Heck, as you said, even Bruno Pio has a chance. That's maybe a little bit more of a shout, but definitely mathematically is 100% possible.
Yeah, mathematically it's 100% possible, and I think that's where we find the difference in previous years, as we've only had 1 or 2 guys, is Adam Strange. Cheering 100. I'll entertain it. If you could pick any fictional character to drive an IndyCar, become an IndyCar driver rather, what fictional character would you pick? That is a great question.
That is a great question. Fictional character? So does that mean that it doesn't necessarily need to be a cartoon then? Fictional character. Fictional. All right. Carson, I'll let you answer this one first.
Tony Stork, or Tony...
Tony Stork, you got it. Tony Stork is Tony Stark's long-lost cousin, and he actually has the powers of flying.
Tony Stork, the retired Hall of Fame NASCAR driver. I meant Tony Stark because if you remember in Iron Man 2, he's an F1 driver in the Stark Industries F1 team, so I figure he'd be good at IndyCar. That's fair enough. That's a good one, I feel like.
That's actually that is a good shout. I would like to see SpongeBob drive an IndyCar, considering his driving lessons. I think that those went well enough, and, you know, he passed. Did he ever pass? I'm not sure he ever passed, actually, now that I think about it, but at least there's no pedestrians on circuit. Yeah, there is stewards and really close to the track, so I hope the track hands don't end up hurt, but I don't think SpongeBob ever passed his test at Mrs. Puff's Driver Academy. Pretty prestigious, up there with Red Bull, Alpine, McLaren, the likes of those folks, but just couldn't get through it, couldn't get out of F3, F4, and transfer over to IndyCar next. So pretty good driver, hoping to see SpongeBob on the big stage soon. But yes, Ricardo Rivera taking pole right now over Quinn Smith with a 22-2. Yeah, for 23-2. 5 milliseconds separating Ricardo Rivera and Quinn Smith. That is quite the margin. Ricardo Rivera still, again, surprised, like Jake Wells says, surprised that he isn't in the 22s. I would have expected a little bit more pace out of some of these drivers. The conditions are there. But hey, it's Brands Hatch, you know, at the end of the day, this is one of those challenging tracks. It's 9 corners only, and that sounds simple on paper, but Carson, we don't drive on paper. Yeah, Mike, graphs and statistics can tell us all we want, but what we expect to happen normally doesn't, and that's what's been the story of this series so far. As you see, Carr in 4th place, going to really give those championship leaders trouble. And Wilson Fernandez, another guy who's in that top 5 section there. I mean, it's insane. These guys are so quick. Every weekend, every week out, they put in so much practice in other leagues and in this league. And it's no surprise that they're contending all for this championship. But a guy that has been also putting in big work and is back for the first time, I believe, in some time. Vadik Odestitsev, for the Fuchsia Competition Esports car, has his own team, but bit of a slide there and down the hill. Yeah, a little bit of the back end stepping out there just slightly for the Lamborghini. It's certainly not an uncommon characteristic of that machine. And I wanted to do the full onboard lap for Jace Wright on the previous lap, but he unfortunately invalidated and decided not to do another. So we will have to be tackling that one later. We had a full onboard corner, though, with Jace Wright. That was exciting. Andre Alex Afonso in the Nissan GTR, a car that I don't expect to be particularly great at this track. It is a rocket ship in a straight line, when it comes to downforce, maybe not the best. Gojira is yeah, just not quite up to the standards of a modern day GT car. We can check the ballast here. We are using the LFM BOP. You can see that the McLaren has 36 kilograms of BOP added to it. The Nissan GTR 8 kilograms removed, surprisingly not as much. The Porsche minus 25 kg, but the McLaren, no surprise here, it's a very good car on this track.
Yeah, I mean it's rocket in the corners, and that's why it's got 36 kilograms of weight inside that car. But 2 Godzilla machinery in the top 10 and have been absolutely excellent so far. It's Andre Alex Alfonso and I believe the 46 car, I can't remember truly who was driving that, but Anthony Kelly will come to the line, and I'm going to ask you to turn my camera off because I need to plug something in.
And Anthony Kelly to the line there, P10 for the time being. And looks like that is where he will finish. Qualifying is done and dusted. Jaden Lloyd into pit lane. We have the 999 of Andre Alex Alfonso gaining currently. Few more corners left to go here. It rounds the final corner and will be heading to the line now. There is an improvement on the cards. Is it going to be enough to improve over Jake Terrell? I think it might be. Is it enough to gain over Silver? And it is, all the way up in a P10. Top 10 result for the Nissan GTR. Definitely nothing to shake a stick at. Next to the line is going to be the 621 of Rally Dutchy. Needs to find some time here, but unfortunately does not. And that is going to be the end of Quali.
Those sim racing, those Mad Fox sim racing cars have had massive improvements throughout the season, and I wouldn't be surprised. Rally Dutchy, big improvements for him, but he's still towards the back of the grid in terms of pace and stability. Has been struggling with GT4, but I'm pretty certain and pretty proud of them. They've been doing a great job to just stay on track, and that's been their biggest problem. And Karu, another driver that I think really needs to work on that, starting in 34th. But we've got quite the big grid out there tonight, so I think we got to jump right into the walk.
Yes, we do. We got about 10 seconds to stall before we begin. As we have up at the front here, our Puerto Rican driver lined up on pole position. And starting us off at the front. Let's get in here and let's meet our drivers. Big thank you to everybody that is joining us here tonight. We welcome you all along. This is the GT3 main event here on TRACKILICIOUS Sunday night. And we are going to get it underway here. Starting us off in pole position is going to be none other than Ricardo Rivera. The 787 lined up in the front in the McLaren P2, belonging to Quinn Smith in the Proton Collect Competition 888. We have the number 8 behind him in P3, the Brazilian driver, bringing home P3 for Wilson Fernandez. Here, Tyler Carr in the Fear Nothing Moto in P4. Kenneth Portis the second, 5th quickest in the Red Dragon, with Jace Wright Company in 6th. Bruno Pio, 7th quickest, the other Brazilian, or one of the other Brazilians on the grid. Company with him is Vadik Odstitsiev in the Fuchsia Competition Esports. The 999 lined up in 9th position for Andre Alex Alfonso. Some say that's fate. I certainly do. And rounding out our top 10, Anthony Kelly.
Starting in 11th will be Casey Schutte, the 6th shooter, dropping 5 from where he was. Gil Silverin will be behind him in the number 400 car, with the 463 of Jake Terrell behind him. Stefan Lindauer will start in the number 2 in 14th. Zane Blisket, this 996 car behind him, with Pierchowski in 16th, and the Decepticons Police Machine. In at 17th will be Paul Borman, with Rogério Santos, the Brazilian, beside him in the 177, with Professor Chronotis, the 42 machine, next to Drew Burakovsky in 20th place to round out your top 20.
Eric Akassian bringing home 21st position for the Armenian driver, with Harold McDonald in the Fear Nothing Moto in P22. Ramsey Connolly in 23rd, with Patrick Dubois in 24th for the Rockefeller Racing, and Alex Hansen coming home in P25. Darren Wicks, 26th quickest, with Juan Alvarez in P27. Jaden Lloyd in 28th, with Devin Anthony Company in P29. Rounding out your top 30 will be Tanner Masters in the Code 3 Motorsports.
31st will be occupied by the 256 McLaren of Anthony Lombardo, with Daniel Desardins in the 88 behind him in 32nd. And 33rd will be Rally Dutchy with his teammate Spady Budd in the 21, starting in 34th, with Jaeger Karu, the other teammate, starting behind them. Three Musketeers will be trailed by the penalized Ali Raza or non-qualified Ali Raza. I'm not quite sure. Maybe he got a quali ban?
think it was a late arrival. Once again, this is not the first time we've seen this from Ali Raza. It'll be a last to first challenge once again. And last time, I think ended up finishing in 5th when all was said and done. Looking for a repeat here at Brands Hatch. It might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it'll be quite the argument for him to get all the way back up here. It is a track that it doesn't suit his car. First off, the Mustang is very, very fast in a straight line like the GTR, but it is better in corners than the GTR. It's not necessarily bad because obviously you see 2 Mustangs right now, 2nd and 4th on the occupying the right side of the grid. I mean, it is that car is so fast in a straight line, and it corners extremely well. As you can see, some of these drivers are doing an excellent job to get through this twisty-turvy bowl almost. And 2nd and 4th, Quinn Smith and Carr, one of those guys that basically doing a preview run about his next season. It's best song by Charlie XCX. I like 356, Adam Strange.
Fair enough. I actually don't know who that is, but welcome everybody in chat. I see we have quite a few people joining us here tonight. We have Jake Wells, we got Adam Strange, we got Jaden, we got Blisket, we have Devin Anthony, we have Karu, we have TNR Matt who's cheering on Disjardins down in P33. We have Ono Noodles. Let us know who you're supporting, chat. We have 75 minutes on the clock, 1 mandatory pit stop tonight. No requirements in terms of stint timer. The drivers are basically in for a stop, and they do not need to take tires. They do need to take fuel, however, though there isn't a fixed amount. So it's going to be down to whatever the roll of the dice is for the strategy. And we mentioned it earlier, 75 minutes on the clock. Here at Brands Hatch, I definitely would expect the drivers to take tires. However, we've been proven wrong on that in the past, Carson.
Yeah, Ali Raza from last place, I think will definitely be doing that, trying to cut out any time he can. I'm sure he's either running 120 right now or he's going to be doing a full fuel stop and getting every second he can off those guys in the lead. But it is a hot one out there in the UK, the land of biscuits, gravy, and apparently cooked chips, because it is very warm out there and those tires are not going to have a fun time, especially here picking up rubber and stuff as we head down to this last section here. Dingledell, our final corner. Or right into Dingledell towards Sheens, our final corner before the restart. Silly track names in the UK, but anything but silly racing.
Certainly is. Dingledell a little bit further back, actually. That's in the mid sector. This is the final. This is Clark Curve.
Yeah.
But either way, Carson, take us away.
They are 2x2, 13 rows back. We've got plenty of action ahead of you tonight. The Proton competition car of Quinn Smith will trail Ricardo Rivera, who will lead them away. It's Brands Hatch, the Sunday GT3 Championship, the 787, hoping to fly to a victory under the Puerto Rican flag, starting at 8:05 in the morning to night, and it is green, green, green. Ricardo Rivera with an excellent start there, blast away from Quinn Smith, who's immediately under threat from the BMW behind. Mustang now trying to get through as they go nick and tuck to the other section. There's not much they can do, really not their side. You want to go side by side, and that BMW getting dove on behind. That's Wilson Fernandez with pressure from the Mustang behind, who goes off. The Lamborghini rather goes off on the left side. The Fuchsia Competition esports car away from now. Kenneth Portis moving into 5th place himself. Excellent stuff for that Honda NSX.
Yeah, Tyler Carr dropping back a position at the start, but then gaining it back immediately as the Fuchsia of Jace Wright had a little bit of an issue. You can see here we have a team fight going on between Jace and Vadik. The question is, are there going to be any team orders? Now down towards the very, very quick right-hander, one of the fastest corners on the track. We see a lot of overtakes here, but it is certainly a risky one. Behind that, Casey Schutte doing exactly what I was saying, making a move now onto Anthony Kelly.
Around Hawthorne's now towards Derek Minter. They've been very, very good through this section. The 6-shooter racing car, I think, will be towards that top half of the grid. He's been excellent, practiced a lot last night, and I think he'll be ready for it through this section, but that is an excellent overtake going right around as he now trails Alex Alfonso in that GTR, and Bruno Pio will have the advantage on both those guys if they continue fighting, but seems like everybody's fighting here. As you can see on that track map, we are compressed, all 37 drivers.
Yes, we certainly are. And up at the front, it is actually a little bit more of a separation than I would have expected. I mean, yes, they are within pretty close margins. Ricardo Rivera, though, pulling away early here, at least a half a tenth. A little bit of breathing room can go a long way at Brands Hatch. The overtake opportunities are very low. Your best chance going to be into this corner right here, Druids. Then coming back around, you can see, wow, the BMW using all of the track and some. That's Wilson Fernandez there that we were just looking at. Casey Schutte, he is on the charge as well, trying to make up some ground. Andre Alex Afonso, the 999 in 9th. And behind him, battles ensuing all the way down the field.
Yeah, the search is for Gio Santos and that Scuderia T-Rex Ferrari team I'm going to try to make it around Pierzchowski, but Ollie Raza already up a massive chunk, 10 spots for the 30 Canadian driver. Whew, must have been a very good lap one for him.
Yeah, that's Ollie Raza at his finest right there, getting it done while the getting is good. This is Ramsey Connolly into Hawthorne, thinks about maybe a move onto Harold McDonald, but doesn't find the daylight they're looking for. There is one mandatory stop, Carson. Now, if you're these drivers and you're stuck in a pack like this, and oh, hold that thought, Jake Terrell has had a spin, unfortunately, through Dingle Dell. Looks like nobody else getting collected, but that's a free position granted for pretty much everybody in the field.
Yeah, just outside London, sun's out, but still a rainy day for him. That is not what you want to see in that dirt section there. It is a tough track. When you go off track, you are absolutely punished, surrounded by grass, dirt, and really no concrete runoff there. Rogerio Santos, good run on this Mustang in front, but it's a Mustang. He's not going to have much of a run as we head towards T1 here. Paddock Hill Bend, he's going to brake hopefully a little later. He sees that Lamborghini in his rearview mirror. I think he's a bit more concerned with that as they head up the rise towards Druids. Hillock on that outside line. Pierzchowski defending the inside. The Mustang not really having to worry too much there as the Ferrari chased down by that red Lamborghini.
Yeah, Drew Burakovsky keeping Rogerio Santos honest at this stage. He really wants to go for an overtake, but he has to go pretty offensive just to be on the defense right now. Not wanting to lose the ground early on here, trying to survive, I think, is the game for Pierzchowski right now. But I think it's a matter of when, not if. Rogerio Santos, he seems quite racy at this point. Up ahead is still that team battle. And did Ollie miss quali? I think Ollie did miss quali again. Ollie missing quali, unintentional rhyme. Either way, he is working his way through the field pretty quickly, and I'd imagine we'll be seeing him at the front somewhat. Also, thank you very much, Kass and Dr. Porkchop, for the correction. It is Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Or Desjardins. I'm assuming Yar. I'm assuming it's a Yar. Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Or Dane.
I'm gonna go with that. But he gets around his teammate. Bit of a, I think, yes, team orders there as he moves into sixth. Their teammate, Drew Burakovsky, trying to make a move on Rogerio Santos in here. It'll be all dependent on this V10 Lamborghini getting a run as bright as the red. Here to this other section, it is a very, very tight right down here. Charlie.
It is Jar. So
it is Jar.
It is Desjardins. Okay, got you. It is not a Yar. My apologies. We have a little bit further back. I do want to check this, though. Ollie Raza side by side right now with Darren Wicks as they head down to Druids, and I'd imagine this is what you would call a textbook overtake, or no, it is. So you would see right there, Ollie Raza, it looks like he ran deep. However, that's actually him covering the next corner off and really making it so he seals that position fully, and Paul Borman having a picnic off in the grass.
Sunny Day, don't blame him. Sonny Pickman, don't blame him. Head on to Cooper Straight. Ollie Raza had the move done and dusted as we head towards the longest straight on the track. This is Pilgrim's Drop that he's approaching here under this bridge and through. Google the pronunciation. I don't have time for Google, unfortunately, right now.
Yeah, I can't right now.
There's a bit busy. 75 minutes of action now, down to 70. Make sure you keep tuning in as Raza is just on the absolute tear. 14 positions up from where he started. Missed quali, but he's definitely not missing any pace.
No, certainly is. Is it Desjardins? Is that what it would be? I'm not sure. That's just a stretch and a half if I'm going for that one. That doesn't sound right to me, but you never know. Hopefully it is. Apologies on the mispronunciation, but we are working on it as we go. Names can be tough sometimes. Ollie Raza gets by Professor Chronotis, continuing his charge up the field. That was okay, so that actually is okay. Got you.
Hey, we got it. I don't even fully remember it, but one driver of note right now, Kenneth Portis. I do want to point that out. Slowly closing in towards the top 5 section now. He is absolutely right next to that other section. He's gaining there. We've got that championship battle that we're keeping tabs on, and keeping tabs on at 4th place driver is Ollie Raza. He leads all Trackalicious drivers with 7 championships as we go down to Eric Kassian. He is down quite a bit. Eric is down, get to look at the exact number here. I can't look at the exact number here because it won't show up. Down 9 positions from where he started, had a pretty good quali run at it, but in that white and blue, Mark has not been too kind to him. I assume he's had an off somewhere, the 555 car. Not looking great.
Uh-oh. Speaking of offs, Vadik spinning violently here. Let's go back and see if we can catch a replay. Hopefully everything is all good on the rejoin. It looks like that's the case. Let's see what happened here. So we go back and take a look. So this is Vadik in the middle sector here, going through Dingle Dell, and he just dips a tire onto the back end, and a car pirouettes violently. That was a good, nice, or what is that? Not a 360. That's like a 720.
Yeah, Dingle Dell, Dingle done. Unfortunately, if you go too wide, absolutely excellent there from Vadik to keep it straight and keep it out of that wall. Because when you're going that quick, you lose control of the car. Bring it too far to the right across the track, and you slam right in that wall. But that V10 will continue howling for the rest of this race. In 11th right now, down quite a bit from where he started, and only 8th. Actually, his teammate was the one who fell out of the position. But Astitsev is back. I think he has not raced previously in this season. Season debut, still going well for him as he's got Zane Bliskett with a penalty behind. Like 30 seconds for Bliskett? Wow.
And just checking down the field, we have Daniel, and I'll try it one more time here and see how chat likes it. So hold on, before we go, is it so it is the S is silent, so it's Deyardon. Deyardon? Is that how you would say that? What's the flag? The flag's Canadian.
That makes it. That's probably worse. I think that makes it.
Dejar. It's Desjardins. Oh my goodness. Stefan Lindauer off in the grass on a picnic. Let's see what happened here.
Oh, no.
Changing the subject swiftly. Oh, this doesn't look like it ended well for Lindauer, and no, it certainly did not. That was, I think, no, that wasn't Devin Anthony.
Yeah.
That was a Ford Mustang of, who was that?
Burakovsky? No, not Burakovsky. I just got it right. Dubois. Patrick Dubois.
Patrick Dubois, thank you, yes.
I knew that livery, but I honestly, Espresso and Sargent fan, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just want to make sure that that is being registered in my brain, but I have no idea.
Yeah, same.
What is happening? But either way, Patrick Dubois. Whew, big lunge there on Chronotis, or getting lunged on by Chronotis, rather. Go to the side as Ali Raza up even more. Whew. Raza up to 18th, 18 positions for him, and he is on quite the comeback run, I assume. He's close to fastest lap. Take a quick look at that. It belongs to Quinn Smith right now, who's slowly approaching Ricardo Rivera. 1.5 seconds. It was 2 earlier, but I think that Mustang is having some trouble. Anthony Kelly, the number 7 car. Whew. That number 7 car is going to be, I think, behind Alfonso for a while, and I'm not sure that GTR can hang on through too many of these turns. You see that gap decrease as they head through this middle sector, but increase on the start front straight as well as through Pilgrim's Drop.
Yeah, certainly. And yeah, Adam, and like straight up, you guys, I don't think either of us have any idea what the heck a Julia verse. I know what the mother is because we went over this on the Williams stream, but that's about it. I don't know what else the other. And to be honest, even when we went over it there, I still don't fully understand it.
Yeah, I mean, my qualifications are also chronically online. I'm just in a different part of the internet, so I kind of get it. Like, people say it to me, and it just, I feel like I've had like something. It feels like something I've been hit in the head really hard. Like, it just doesn't compute, and I am completely lost. But I appreciate all generations checking out here. That's another thing about sim racing that is great. Is just the reach between the younger communities. I'm 18, and I meet people on here who are well into their 70s, which, no disrespect to them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being old, but I have no idea how they do it. I just don't. It is incredible.
Carson, stop digging. Stop digging.
I dug the hole. And I prefaced it because I knew what it was. I put up the steel barrier as we go there. Wilson Fernandez, Quinn Smith a little bit off. That's a gap that just increased 4/10. Halved it. As Fernandez chasing in the championship really needs a great finish tonight. A podium would move him up a ton on the order. As Carson is giving Julia behavior everywhere, always. I don't know.
He's giving, I guess you could say he's giving Alfa Romeo vibes. How about that? Is that, because that's the only thing, when you say Julia, that's the only thing that I think of is, I
don't even get that.
The Alfa Romeo. It's the Alfa Romeo, is the Yulia? The Yulia, I think is what it would be called.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, I wouldn't think of it as Julia, but Yulia, whatever. Close enough. We're on
Same
board
spelling.
with Wilson Fernandez, but the number 8 car has been absolutely excellent. I think the reason they're down is in the championship is just because of a rough finish combined with missing a round. So Fernandez and that Vacuum Racing has been the better of the Vacuum Racing pair so far. And that BMW, very quick. You know, Mike, it seems like the meta now is the big cars, but McLaren obviously still doing an excellent job. I see a lot of Ford Mustangs towards the top, and I see a lot of BMWs, and I'm seeing GTRs even make runs.
Yeah, we certainly are. As I was just Googling definition, and I still don't understand it, even after Googling it. So
there's no definition. You got to be in the corner of the internet to understand it, and I asked to be contacted. Please DM me what that means. I have no idea.
Either way, this is Professor Kenotis trying to battle with Jaden Lloyd down in P21, trying to work their way into the top 20 split here, close enough. We have behind them, Devin Anthony is going to be in 26th, battling with Daniel Desjardins. No, Desjardins. That sounds somewhat French, kind of, not really.
Yeah,
Doesn't.
And Gambling with a really good point on that. He just sent me a YouTube link with the pronunciation, which I can't listen to, unfortunately. Oh!
Eric has had an off, everybody. Let's give him his contractually obliged screen time, and let's see what has happened. 20 seconds of Eric's screen time ahead of you right now. It looks like it's an unforced error, Carson, as we head down in the middle sector, and it certainly is.
Ooh. Keeps it straight, but lost a lot of pace. Not what you want to do, as, yeah, I do listen to Charlie XCX, but I don't really understand the lyrics, and that's kind of my main problem. I'm uneducated in that brand, if that's what you're curious. And Professor Kenotis, though, same colors as that album, Brat Summer 2024, the 42 car of Professor Kenotis doing an excellent job. You're all over the back bumper. Has had pretty good qualifying, and I believe he's had an off somewhere, because I think he started way higher. Yeah. Had an off somewhere. He's down 3 positions, started 19th, ending up in 22nd, but he should get one of those positions back. That Ford Mustang not looking too safe right now as we head down towards Pilgrim's Drop.
Oh, yes, and Professor Kenotis, oh no, speaking of what has happened here, middle sector, Jace Wright is off, rejoins the track in front of Mason Perchalski. Seems like it's a bit of a battle of survival right now for these drivers, and there is a very hefty drift getting off the side, whatever it was over 20 seconds ago, and Jace Wright, he has dropped quite a few positions as a result, down 8 from where he started, up in 6th.
I know I've been giving Fuchsia a lot of crud in certain X sections here, but they've got so much better pace, but I don't know what it is. The past few weeks, who is Rogerio Santos? Almost into the back end of Jace Wright, making that even worse. But they've had so many offs and so many mistakes. These guys are so fast, and in the past 2 weeks, it's like a curse has been placed upon them. They've got a hex. A wizard has absolutely been trying to get them. As Eric Kass already up 3 positions. 25th, I assume it has something to do with a few drivers pitting. Seeing that for damage with the 555 car in 25th. Wow. Not sure how he got there already.
Yeah, and also the battle between Jaden and Kenotis still not quite resolved. Also, Darren Wicks stranded off into the side. We'll save the replay on that one. And we're going to watch Kenotis here as he heads down towards Hawthorne, it looks like. Down on the back straight. Can he get it done into the Derek Minter straight? It doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He has to back out and wait for another lap.
Yeah, you need some more pace, about 4 tenths, 5 tenths almost, and a big, better exit than the car ahead of you. If you want to really get the car in front of you on that turn, it's going to be up, down to Druids for Professor Kenotis if he wants to get this overtake, because the Mustang is just too good in a straight line. And finally, something I understand from Stream Espresso, Charles Leclerc putting that curse onto others. Yeah, it's been a hex. Like, I don't know, it's wrong. Some of these, they just have mistakes, they get into accidents. And I don't know, I've never seen form like this, but hopefully they can pick it up for Saturday. Tune in at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're not starting the stream that late. I'm not streaming till 5 in the morning.
Also, Logan, I have to agree with you on that one. That is, I think that is one of the most real statements said here tonight in chat.
There's been a lot of fake things. There's a lot of things that don't exist, and I just, like I said earlier, I feel like I got hit in the head. I feel like I just took like a big hit in football a few years ago, and I don't know.
Got the CTE brain.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand. What we saw earlier, Wilson Fernandez was closing that gap. V8 versus V8, aspirated from different countries. But whew, that car has been tough and a straight for Fernandez, it seems, and that's where he's been losing the time to the Mustang ahead. And you're about to see it here again, that 4 tenths quickly escaping him, it seems, throughout this section, as now it's still 4/10, but decreasing now through the turn as it's been through Pilgrim's Rise. Now they go.
BMW's got an inline 6, Carson. Either way, it's...
It was a different car. I thought it was in the GTR.
All good.
GTR, BMW. That's all 3 letters, man. We gotta get some creativity on.
The 3.0 liter inline 6, one of BMW's classic engines, has 2 fat turbos strapped onto it, and this thing is an absolute rocket ship, putting down about 590 brake horsepower, and you can pick one up yourself today for about $530,000. Pocket change, just over $500,000.
Yes, as I walk into one of my 4 mansions in Beverly Hills and just go out on the street and purchase one of these with pocket change. But yes, this car is so beautiful. The only justice we can really do to it is jump on board and stop talking in that other section, but absolutely excellent. That number 8 car has been rapid so far this year, but kind of a victim of their own mistakes when it comes to position. Ali Raza up into 13th, my goodness. And just ahead of them, Vidico Stitsev on that recovery drive from the accident earlier. Chasing down that Martini-themed Ferrari, I believe.
Yeah, very nice looking. Oh my goodness, as that is going to be the chase done for the time being. Vidic exploring the gravel trap there and getting stuck a little bit in the kitty litter. Resumes though, not too far behind, and I also hear gravel getting kicked up in the back, and that is Ali Raza out of all people. He is in fact human. He has made a mistake.
Like, you know what time it is?
Replay
it's
time?
Replay time as I disappear because you are the replay coverage.
I know. We can get you up. There we go.
I'm back. Another section. Looks like Ollie just overcooks it late on the brakes. Or had to add that brake and swing out to the right side to avoid damage in the rear end of another car ahead. And the paint will remain all gold on that car, no white. But definitely not white in the pants. Bit of a code brown there as he veers off to that right side. The Canadian driver, I think, will still be back. I don't think that'll damper him too much. That's only 5 or 6 seconds. Pocket change in terms of time for Ali Raza.
Yeah, with 55 minutes left, he still has some time to make up ground. Podium might not be on the cards, but top 5 certainly is possible. Top 10, I would say almost 100%. But we have a long ways to go before we decide that. There's still 1 pit stop these drivers need to take. We're only 19 minutes into the session. I expect in about another 20 minutes for the drivers to actually come in for their stop. And as the time goes, Wilson Fernandez, well, these two pretty much running nip and tuck all the way through and haven't had much of a change throughout the entirety. I'm not sure Wilson Fernandez, though, wants to get by. I think he's kind of just in the battle right now of trying to catch up to Ricardo Rivera, or at least try to keep up as much as humanly possible with Ricardo Rivera to allow them to maybe have a strategy later. As I say that, though, he's just going to prove me wrong. I think that is just Wilson, though, trying to get into the head of Quinn. I'm not sure that was the most attempted look, as we have another yellow flag. What has happened to Tyler Carr? He's going slow down the start-finish straight.
4th place driver, the 69 car. Doing a rough job here. We'll jump right into the replay. The American driver, I assume he spun and ended up in the pit lane. Oh no, wrong place to go. You're going to end up with your mandatory pit stop being served early unless you hit that wall right there. And I'm sure he did. Probably some big damage on that Mustang. I can't see it too visibly. Maybe he kept out of the wall, but...
Yeah, unfortunate to say the least on that one. And a livery deep dive for the coolest on track. Carson, do you have a particular one that you would like to see? I don't know. See, picking the coolest on track is such a subjective thing because I think some of these liveries, they all have their positives. They all have their, I was going to say negatives. Not many of them have too many negatives. They're all just brilliant in their own ways. So, you know, if you want to pick one, feel free. I know Patrick Dubois here in the Rockefeller Racing, great choice. Even the Fear Nothing Moto here car as they go battling side by side just about. And that's also a Nissan GTR stranded off onto the side there. Darren Wicks returns to the garage.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the eventually, because I want to stay on this 3-man battle here. I want to eventually check on the red Fuchsia Competition Esports car. I think that one hasn't been highlighted yet. It is pretty nice there. They do a great job with Lamborghinis. They all have different liveries, and they're all very creative. But on the inside line is McDonald. He gets right past the American behind. So does the Aston Martin, who's going to give him a challenge. That 17th place car under threat from Canterbury's behind. The 510 machine, the Aston Martin, right past. The Mustang can't get past the McLaren, but this argument isn't settled yet as they head towards the pit straight.
No, it certainly is not. Carson and Harold McDonald trying to gain some ground, and Ramsey Connolly with a clever as all could be overtake, getting by Patrick Dubois with not much of an issue. Patrick is going to be immediately trialing back for vengeance. Through the first corner, you can see the setup from Dubois as we head down the hill towards Druids. He went for the better exit, but he's not going to be far enough alongside to make an overtake happen. Ramsey Connolly has to keep it on track. Harold McDonald does as well, though, having a bit of a mistake there, and that immediately puts him back on the bumper like a license plate.
Yeah, right there's the Fear Nothing moto car. Gets a bit wide, probably picked up some grass on that right side tire there, but shouldn't affect him too much. Defending on the middle, though, as Connolly tries to get around, lets that Mustang in the 87-4, Dubois' birth year, 1987. If you're curious on that trivia, the black and red Lightning machine, just trying to get a spark behind them, but McDonald under serious threat from the Aston Martin. He'll go side on the other side, a bit of a block there. The 182 car gets the flashing, not too happy from that blue Aston Martin as he goes wide. The American trying to keep it on track will do it. Bit of a gamer line from him there as he's put under massive pressure from this Aston Martin. Still, the blue all over his rear mirror.
You could cut the tension with a cricket stump right now as Harold McDonald pushes to the absolute limit. Gets his tires onto the grass there briefly. That's going to cost him onto the exit as we head down to the final corner complex. Now down into Clark Curve. Round the outside, there's a hip check there from the Aston Martin. Harold McDonald not having any of that. Heading up now down towards Paddock Hill Bend. This is where things are going to get spicy. Patrick Dubois on the racing line. The quickest line of all is going to be trying to gain it down into Druids. He loses a little bit though, and now the move from the Aston Martin is going to be onto the outside. Can he get it done in time? No. Harold McDonald has to run wide here to cover off the next corner, and it looks like, well, he doesn't even need to.
Yeah, poor exit on the Aston Martin there. Picked up some rubble on those left side tires. He gets to that other end. And I'd say Dubois is loving this, but I'm sure it's a bit scary. These two are trading blows, hip check collaterals as you go through that other section here. This is where they almost made contact earlier. It all is on the exit. Dubois, we'll take a look at it from his front splitter. The 19 car watching them go towards Pilgrim's Drop and Pilgrim's in the rise after it. Trying to find anything he can get through this other section. Dubois just going to keep it right behind them. He does not want anything to do with the accident that might be coming with how aggressive these two ahead have been.
No, if I'm in Patrick Dubois' situation right now, or if I'm in his shoes, I'm going to be just biding my time and waiting for something to give here, because you can clearly tell that these two are pushing to the absolute max right now, and I think it's just a matter of time before one of them makes a mistake, and Patrick, he needs to make sure that that's not himself. Be as cautious as humanly possible, and as now they go on to the next lap, the overtaking opportunities are going to open up for Patrick Dubois once again.
Yeah, through the other section, Connolly has just not been as tight in that Sector 3, and I think it's been what has let this McDonald Fear Nothing moto car ahead as he watches in his rearview mirror. Nearly an overtake from Dubois. Thank you for the follow, Knight. Nearly an overtake from Dubois. He has to back out. Let's go off the gamer line as we need some Mike Nause stands, I think, Logan Sargent fanboy. We need some Mike Nause stands.
I mean, I do know what a Twitter stand is, to be fair. But yes.
Nause tweet. Nause, hashtag Nause tweet on Twitter. What? What do you mean, ouch?
Is that not a bad? Isn't a stan a bad thing?
Well, no, that means people really like you, but to the point of obsession. You have to be nice there. As McDonald though into the wall. Oh no, he'll be losing his stands after that one. The 182 car loses 2 positions, and I think the front right light there. Whoa. Not great. The American jumping across the pond. This section of the Fear Nothing moto cars have been rapid in their pace, but not so much for Harold McDonald. Rough.
Yeah, very rough indeed. A bit of a self-inflicted mistake. Really nobody to blame but himself on that one. Here a little bit further back, Juan Alvarez down towards the Derek Minter straight here. Goes to the inside and is going to potentially make it stick. There's contact, though, and Juan Alvarez is left spun around, and Eric Gakasian head-on collision. That one is certainly going to require a medical check.
Yeah, just clatters his front end right there. The front engine of the Mercedes. Probably not too happy with that as we'll jump on board with him. Let's see if he lifted, because I know he's complained about other people not lifting, as he did just try to slow down. Nowhere to go on the exit. Was on the rails in the minecart on track just for that car there, and unfortunately couldn't slow the train down in time as the Mercedes might have some engine damage.
Yeah, that was sort of like watching a car on a very cold day parked on a hill or on an icy day sliding down, and it's sort of just in slow motion, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do to stop the chaos that is about to ensue. And Eric, he has massive damage after that, and will be, I'm assuming, making his pit stop sooner rather than later. And which of the first, I don't even know if you guys, I mean, I do have a Twitter, if you guys are interested in following me over on Twitter. I'm trying to find out what that is right now, because I don't even know my own Twitter. It's just at Mike Nause, fair enough.
I don't keep on Twitter. That app is scary. I just, Bird app, or that's not Bird app anymore, X, if you want to call it that, is just not for me. There. As we get, Mike Nause drops his Twitter in chat. The self-promo is crazy.
Yep, damn straights.
Damn straights. So there, Professor Cornotis. That's been his main problem, actually. Speaking of which, damn straights, I'm sure he's saying in that car right now, has been just absolutely excellent through the turning section, Sector 2 and Sector 3. When it is tight and turns for the Ferrari, it's been great. But that Mustang, when he hits a straight line, just wins, unfortunately, as they move up to 20th and 19th, whereas 21st and 22nd. But dang, as gambling is Mike Nause's 5th follower. Woo! Is that your bio?
Yeah. What? No, I don't have many followers on Instagram. I don't use X that often, so yes, that is my 5th follower. Thank you very much. I have to build an X profile at some point. 3rd? Fair enough. It's all good. It's all good. I love the chat GPT revving up your engines for another epic day. Controller fire emoji. Join the virtual world as we witness the thrilling maneuvers and heart-pounding action. Buckle up, esports fam. It's gonna be a wild ride. Car emoji with the explosion behind. Hashtag racing. Hashtag commentator life. Hashtag virtual speed.
That's not an explosion, Mike. That's like, you know, like a cartoon with like the...
Yeah, I get it. I don't know. Look, I was in the moment and I had to come up with something quick.
An explosion is Gambling Addict 98. Thank you very much for the sub. That is my pal. Thank you very much for your Prime sub. And hey, if you don't like the ads, which we have them on the lowest setting, but at our level on Twitch, you can't unfortunately avoid them. If you've got a Amazon Prime subscription and haven't linked it to your Twitch, make sure you do. You can watch commercial-free racing here at TRACKILICIOUS if you just sub with Prime, or I believe there is a Discord Nitro feature on it now. I'm not quite too sure, but make sure you tune in. We do run ads before this to try and avoid it, but in a 75-minute race, we're not going to intentionally run ads during any period, so we'll have to do the other section there. As you may have noticed through this entire lap, Cornotis gained a position. We're seeing that pit phase truly start right here.
Yeah, it seems the drivers are kind of shuffling around. We're starting to see the battles on track come to an end for the time being, and Twitch Nitro is, yes, Twitch Nitro, there you go, that's what it is. If you do have that, but also if you use not just a Prime sub, but if you use a normal sub as well. So thank you very much, Gambling Addict. We want you to join the TRACKILICIOUS team. Thank you so much.
What's Twitch Nitro? Is Jace right on the outside of Mason Pierchowski? Another section of that blue car on blue car action there. A bit of a brighter royal and a bit of a navy.
Turbo.
As Turbo. I was like, what's Twitch? I was
like,
what is Twitch Nitro?
It's Discord
Twitch
Nitro,
Turbo?
Twitch Turbo, that's right.
I have no idea what that is, and I don't think I'll be getting Twitch Turbo, but I will pay for my sub with $5 every day as Discord user spotted. If you would like to join the TRACKILICIOUS Discord, you can use !Discord in that mark as Mike presses his super secret button and posts it instantly. Nightbot, thank you very much. Whew. Best worker. Best worker.
Nightbot is honestly underpaid worker of the year. Well, not paid worker.
Underpaid. I don't know if we can reward that. I feel like that's against some rule.
Yeah, you know, Forzy, welcome as well. Nice to have you here. Good to see you back. It has been a while. You want to see P26 on board lap? That is that Eric or Juan? I need a, because we're currently in a pit phase, so everything is shuffled since you sent that message.
As we do also have a livery deep dive that I want to see. Let's go check out that Drew Burakovsky Lamborghini, I believe.
Currently running in position number. Where is he? In pit lane. We'll check on him in a little bit.
Sorry.
We had the other.
We have some other.
Yeah, let's see. It was the number 135 from Logan Sargent Fanboy. Let's
jump on that.
See. Where is the 135? Currently out of pit lane. Just came out of pit lane. Let's take a look.
That is Juan Alvarez in the 135 machine and the beautiful Jeff's Bagel Run. My favorite food, actually, is the top has also another sponsor in it that I can't fully read, but Jeff's Bagel Run, a beautiful red, white, and blue livery, as it is not quite British, close enough, I suppose. The Union Jack colors. You see the beautiful rear end to official Ferrari dealer of Ferrari of Central Florida. The feeling that might be where he's from. Juan Alvarez, excellent livery in the Terrassi Competizione machine.
Yeah, very nicely designed all the way around, and there was a little bit of grass kicked up ahead. That might be some blood in the water, potentially, for Juan Alvarez. Up ahead, Jace Wright also making some moves. Zane Blisket directly in front of him, and just getting by, I think, Mason Pierchowski.
Yeah, that 10 car has been pressuring Wright for quite some time now, as he has just got by him earlier, and Mason Pierchowski's done anything but fade so far. The number 10 car is trying to get back into the top 10 where he started, but Zane Blisket and Jace Wright stand in front of him, but Blisket does have a 10-second penalty. He'll be serving as Federico Destiziev. Is that another off for him?
No, I'm not sure what that was, but I think that was Emirates that we had just seen. Emirates is disconnected. It had a yellow flag and an immediate disconnect. I'm not sure if there was an incident. Oh, no, they're back in pit lane. Let's see what has happened here. Hopefully I can catch a replay of it. I'm not sure I can, though. Nope. Hashtag bad streamer.
Car over. He's serving Slay. Oh, you can clip that. Dang it. I'm going to clip that. I want to turn that into an audio clip. Either way, the other section, let them serve in peace. So we've had an excellent race so far. Emirates is one of those drivers that has been really good, but fortunately missing a few rounds, has the pace to get towards the top, and just isn't all the way there for practice, it seems, as Jace Wright putting some serious pressure on the back end of that Porsche. The white and black machine really hoping to not have too much of a navy stain on it. Really trying to stay out of him. Jace Wright, as he had to break there and abandon his overtake through Druids as we head to the Connor Straight.
Got to be careful there. I almost hit buttons that I didn't need to. Bori Burakovsky, welcome first off, and that's a dang shame. Hopefully you manage to get all of your technical difficulties fixed by the next race, and we can see you back out on track and taking that checkered flag. Heck, you still got plenty of time if you can get it solved and just head back out there for some experience. I always encourage that. Just getting to the checkered flag is a win in itself.
Yeah, with 75 minutes here, it is a difficult section here, especially at Brands Hatch. Those turns are tight and dangerous, as we see just that. Chrono off there, manages to save the car. The 42 machine, not quite for his afternoon picnic just yet. It's only 8:30.
And the tank. Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, the tank. Hope you had a great stream, and welcome, Raiders. We're here watching the GT3 main event. This is the championship, the Sunday series for summer, round 5 at Brands Hatch. And we are currently, 40 minutes remaining. We have 34 minutes elapsed, one pit stop for most of these drivers to go, and plenty of action ahead of us as Ali Raza started at the back of the field. He has gained 30 positions so far up into P7. He does still need a pit, though.
Ali's still yet to serve his pit, like you mentioned, and I'm very curious when he's going to do that. He's had some interesting pit strategies here, run around 1 of this series with quite the excellent strategy. Just waited till the end, last lap, took 1 liter of fuel, I have to assume, and just ran the entire race by himself, almost. As nobody just really didn't pit till the end, and he had as much clean air as he wanted, only dealt with a few back markers throughout the entire race because it was a large track. I just can't remember what track it was fully, but that 30 car has had excellent strategy choice, and I'd expect nothing less despite the late start here. I'm sure he's cooked something up. Whether he realizes it or not, I'm sure he's been just doing with it as he goes, but had an idea at the start. And some energy for Lloyd.
Always love to see it. Let us know who you're supporting, chat. I know we have a lot of viewers in chat here supporting their favorite drivers, supporting their friends, their family, and always love to have the cheers, given the energy that way. It's always welcome, especially when they go back and watch the stream afterwards, and you can see, I think that's the main energy, really, is afterwards.
That 390 car getting right into this battle ahead. It's a Ferrari, a Mustang, and a Mercedes, all trailing behind the train of Eric Gakassian here. I think we've got some stuff brewing here through this other section. That Ferrari, no opportunity to overtake the Mustang ahead. The 390 machine just gonna try and back out the Ukrainian. Just gonna, I think, watch and observe the section here as the Ferrari and Mustang nearly clatter ahead. Oh my gosh, they got right alongside where you do not want to go alongside, as they just this close. The race ending, unfortunately, for those guys, but they managed to keep it out.
Yeah, this is a bit of a dangerous battle. Devin Anthony doesn't need to be involved in this fight. He is on a previous lap, or rather, excuse me, on a lap ahead, so he wants to get by as soon as reasonably possible. Eric is being a bit of a thorn in the side right now. He's already made a pit stop, but he is technically a blue flag, and not going to be holding him up right now. Will not be in any danger of that, as Alex Hansen is getting overtaken by Desjardins.
What happened to Devin? Oh, Devin pitted. Okay, Devin Anthony pitted. I was like, where did he just go? Because we went off camera section and that maroon Mustang was gone. But Alex with an excellent overtake of Desjardins.
I don't think I don't think either of us are right.
Of the 88 driver, who I severely apologize for our mispronunciation. We are really trying. Daniel, I'm so sorry. The Canadian driver back down to 25th, had pressure on him from the BMW ahead, and the Ukrainian moving right on by. But he'll be under threat here. For that Ferrari can get a better exit, but going to be tough to get a better exit on the BMW, to be truthful with you here.
Yeah, it certainly is. And just taking a look here, this is Ricardo Rivera. He made his one mandatory stop here for the night, going for the undercut on the drivers ahead of him. Going for the drivers behind him. He was running in P1 this whole time, and now electing to go shorter. I think this is a pretty decent strategy. He's found himself a good bit of clean air. He can slam in some lap times, and he should have no danger of losing the position to Quinn Smith, I would imagine, unless Quinn goes for no tires. However, I think if he goes for no tires, he will be overtaken by merit alone.
Yeah, and a massive disadvantage. I want to point out, Ali Raza has gained 32 slots so far in this section. Ricardo Rivera might be under threat if he can really make some mistake here, but honestly, Rivera, pretty good in the section here. He's in the driver's seat right now, and based on the finishes, if Quinn Smith can't get too well of a finish here, finishes in 4th, Rivera finishes in 1st, Rivera will take control of the championship. The 787 car will do that as long as Kenneth Portis and Ali Raza stay off the podium.
Yeah, and certainly if they do that, they will have plenty of time to compete still. We still have 2 races left in the championship, and it is only going to get tighter and tighter. That is one thing about Trackalicious here, is we have an amazing points distribution, in my opinion, that really keeps these championships as close as they can be. And that is why I would encourage you to sign up if you are interested looking in for a league. We offer plenty of races here. We have rookies, we have GT3s, we have GT4s, anything that you could think of. iRacing as well we've been tapping into. Head on over to the SimGrid for more information.
Yeah, and the community here is great. I look away from chat, and we're talking about Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know how we got there, but that's kind of how I feel about everything around here. It is an excellent community, and there's so many people. There's everybody. Everybody is here. You're gonna meet somebody that you like. You're gonna meet somebody that you're gonna be friends with, and learn how to sim race, and you learn how to do regular racing with them. As we see a lot of these sim racers get out on track in real life towards the section now, as they head towards the esports scene and all that. It is quite amazing what's happening in sim racing, with more and more opportunities being available for those on the virtual grid, on the actual asphalt real life grid all around the world. But Quinn Smith, your current leader of the championship and of the race, the 888 car, under threat from Vediko Stitsev as he lets him by the back marker through.
Yeah, Vediko on new tires. This is the real difference in pace, and this is why it's pretty much mandatory for Quinn here to take tires. Is if he doesn't elect to, that will be Ali Raza, or that will be anybody pretty much that is behind him that does elect for new rubber. He'll just be losing and losing time. It's just rather, again, the overcut, I don't know. Quinn Smith has to pit here soon, I think. If not, he is going to be at risk potentially from Ali, or not Ali, excuse me. Ali is a little bit further back. But Kenneth Portis making a stop soon would be nice. Wilson Fernandez, I'm surprised to see them go as long as they are right now, to be honest.
Speaking of stops and undercuts, Ollie just jumped into the pits. Curious to see where he churns out at the end of this race, obviously starting in last. Going for the last of first challenge. Not sure he'll get there, but it's been an excellent job so far from him, and he enters the pits with Pierchelski, who I think he will come out nearby, but it is an absolutely excellent race we've seen out here from him. That masterclass will continue when he's out of the pits, and I believe will continue throughout this other section here, but that not being able to qualify is massive for Ollie. That may end that championship hope for him, because I think he's already dropped around. I will check very briefly. Let me bring out the folder trademark. I don't know where I put it. It's on the floor. All of the information you need about Trackalicious at my fingertips. Let's take a look at the standings here.
silent S, and the din is pronounced Dawn or Dawn. So Dawn. Okay. That might help. Let's see if it helps. I'm not gonna make any. So it's day, Yar, Dawn, Gayardon, Dejardon. Okay, Dejardon. No, I realized it too. We're good. I realized it too. I don't know why I keep putting the "y" sound. I just see a J and I want it to make a "y." That's just my broken brain, unfortunately.
Ali Raza had his last round as a drop. I believe he also started from the back there in 7th place, hoping for a little bit better. He wants that to be his worst drop round, as that will be the best thing for his championship hopes, but he may not be getting that 8th, bit of a Lewis Hamilton, Michael Schumacher situation for him there. We'll have to see if he can come out on top, but one of his biggest threats, Quinn Smith, the 888 car, from preventing him from getting his 8th so far. Quinn Smith, it's a really interesting situation we have right now in this championship. So we're missing the defending champ Cody Blanton and the defending silver medalist Gabriel Felipe, as this championship is up for grabs for anybody who wants to get that championship, because Cody Blanton isn't here. So nobody defending the title. It's a bit of the king of the hill situation right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. And again, I'm really wondering when he's going to pull the trigger for his pit stop, as we have now, we finally have seen the pit stop from the Brazilian behind. Where the heck did he go? As I try to find the name, Wilson Fernandez dropped down to 9th, actually, has lost the position to Rogério Santos and Zane Blisky. Both of those drivers get to pit, that is why. Makes sense. Also, Adam Strange, you wish you could sim race, but you have a phone and laptop and a cabin in the woods and just an entire lake to swim in. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with going in the woods. I actually did the same thing. Well, no, I take that back. It's boring as all heck, but still, I know what you mean there. But, you know, hey, even with a bad computer, as long as you can run the sim racing game, you don't necessarily need a wheel and pedals. Even if you have a controller, I'd still encourage you to at least give it a shot. But I know that some laptops, they just can't handle some of the modern games. Heck, even Carson's computer can barely handle this game. Simulator.
Anything, honestly. It doesn't even matter what it is. It's Quinn Smith trying to get around back markers here. Vadiko Stitsiev is ahead, but Ali Raza, they're splitting the gap. Ali trying to pass Quinn Smith here and get his lap back into Quinn. Will let him have it since he is on older tires. That Mustang, real dangerous there. The Vadiko Stitsiev, as he dips a tire in the back grass. Ahead is Ali Raza. Gonna get past Vadiko Stitsiev. That is for position, as both of them drivers have pitted, as they're still alongside, going to the downhill, back to the up. Ali Raza forced to go nip and tuck behind a Stitsev. He'll go towards the inside at Druids. Let's see if he can make the move here, as he has to back out. Quinn Smith on that outside line has to go wide. Ali Raza right behind. He can't do anything, but there's an unsettlement from the V10 of that Lamborghini, but he will manage to keep the power down and keep it straight through Cooper Straight. Oh my goodness, that was almost bad.
I'm not sure it's done just yet. Professor Kenotis is off ahead. That's a position for free for both of these drivers, and Kenotis hopefully will recover quickly. Now as they head down the Pilgrim's Drop towards Hawthorne Bend, Ali Raza a little bit out of the slipstream right now. He's going to make the look regardless, but that's just going to be trying to keep Vadik honest. Maybe forcing a little bit of an overreaction. If you do snap the wheel there, you're almost certainly going for a spin. Ali, he knows the game. He knows how to play it. He's done it for a very long time. As Carson mentioned, 7 championships under his name. And will he make it a chance for an 8th? He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to make that dream become a reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's an absolutely excellent section there. It is. He's been great his entire career here at TRACKILICIOUS, and you can tell by that. He's improved massively, but improved with the grid. And nobody really yet to dethrone him. The closest driver has 5 championships, and I'm not quite sure who it is, but Ali Raza looking to increase that gap as he still keeps Vadik Astitsev in his sights. This will be one of his best opportunities here as he heads down the hill towards Pilgrim's Rise now. It'll be another chance on Druids if he can find his way to the inside, but Vadik defends it. Through Druids now. He has to go back on the other end, looking for a switchback opportunity right on the back bumper of that Lamborghini, but that gold Mustang can't find his way around at all. A massive defend there from Vadiko Stitsev to keep himself alive in that position for now. It seems almost inevitable, though, with Ali Raza behind.
Yeah, and he's trying his heart out right now, but just not able to get by. It's a bottleneck situation, and Ali, maybe that damage on the front is playing a role. Here with the run, though, down towards Hawthorne Bend. It's covered on the inside by Vadik. This is where things can get dangerous as they go under braking now. Ali Raza to the outside. He can get forced off if he's not too careful, but he is. Kicks up a little dust on exit, but no harm, no foul.
Yeah, to another end there, Ali Raza just doing his best. He's trying to make Vidica make a mistake here, and he's done anything but. Had a tough start of the race, but just unfortunately ended up in a wall there. Had a bit of an unsettlement right through that section that we went through here. And another section through Sterling's. Ollie Raz will remain behind through Clearways. Clark Curve coming up next. Ollie's going to have to get a really good exit here and have to try his best there, as it doesn't look like he had the best section there, but we'll take another look towards Druids. Ollie Raza right behind that Lamborghini, the number 30 car, looking for anything he can get from the scraps of Vidica Stitsev ahead. The 73 car, bit wider than Ollie Raza on the line there, but he will have an equal exit. Ollie just not close enough to get a look through Druids again. He just can't find his way, but ahead of them, backmarker Eric Gagosian trying to get his obligated screen time.
Yeah, this could play a little bit of a role for sure if he does get in the way. This is one of the more interesting corners as well. Vidica has to be very careful with which he places his car, and so does Eric. You can see he runs wide there. Very nicely done from Eric getting out of the way. Is that going to allow Ollie Raza the run, though, as they head down toward Hawthorne again? Ollie made the attempt on the previous lap onto the outside. He's going to need to make it a repeat, but this time to the inside. He thought about it and almost goes too late onto the brakes. That was a bit of a hesitation, it looked like, but no, again, collision, thankfully, just yet. But things are going to be spicing up between them. Also, on the pronunciation, I got one more attempt here. Is it... So if it's Don, is it Don Jardine? John Jardine? We got to go full French. Or Don. John Dardin? Is that better? We put the French spin on it.
I'm watching the video. I'm going to get it. Hold on.
This name has run us through the ringer here tonight.
Desjardins.
Desjardins?
That's what it just told me. Desjardins.
Desjardins.
Desjardins. That's what it just said.
Jean.
It's so French. It's so French. It's an English stream, not French. Well, that's the best part about TRACKILICIOUS. We've got people from all around the world, Jaden. And maybe not an English stream, or maybe not a French stream, but it is English, and it is in English, but we've got drivers from all around the world. We really appreciate that. Everybody from the other section is super, super interesting to meet, and super interesting aspects in the world. Definitely a lot of perspective from this community, and I do really appreciate just everybody around here. So make sure you join, jump in the races. They're a ton of fun. To see a battle for position as they try and deal with a front marker. The 16 car, tried by Daniel Desjardins, and Juan Alvarez, the 25 car. This is a battle for position, with the back marker, the front marker, the 17th place car ahead. That 135 Ferrari doing anything he can on the equal machinery car ahead. The white and black facing the white, blue, and red.
One day. Juan Alvarez, though, around the outside. And I guess on that note, I think, Carson, you make a very good point on the fact is we just like to be proper. You know, that's the biggest thing at the end of the day, is we do care, and we want everyone to properly be represented under their banner, I suppose. And I think that's, you know, we want to be as correct as humanly possible.
And Jetplane, welcome to you. That is an inside joke between me and that individual. So inside joke, bit of a background there, but don't worry about that. It's not important. Eric Kass in the 555 car, trying to make it around the outside of the Mustang ahead. It'll actually go for a switchback, trying to get a better exit there, but not much you can do through this section here. On the Cooper Straight, though, he's got much more pace than that white, black, and red car ahead. Trying to find anything he can. He's got a better exit as the car goes off. They're side by side, not where you want to be. Bit of a long section here. It'll be all right for Eric. Goes a bit wide, but that Mustang isn't alongside, but he goes alongside because Eric goes too wide. It's a Mustang versus a Mercedes in a straight line towards Pilgrims now. Trying to find anything he can. Eric gonna see him right behind. I think that'll be done and dusted for Eric. As they take a great line. Not so much by the Mustang. I had a little bit of off there.
Yeah, and that mistake there through the not Sheens, excuse me, but through Surtees, definitely, or Graham Hill Belnix, there we go. Definitely cost him all the way on the run down towards Surtees, and managed to make a mistake that gave Eric the advantage, and he took that one with both hands, and now is going to drop him like a hot potato. Professor Chronotis had a spin up ahead and is off in the grass. Ramsey Connolly gains a free position after that. Not too much damage done, though, for the Ferrari. We have one of the other Ferraris down the field a bit now, and this is again Juan Alvarez battling with Daniel for P24. And they have a long ways up the road before they catch 23rd, but a front marker now getting to play a bit of an interesting role for these drivers.
Yeah, front marker, almost a back marker, it seems there. They seem to be both faster than that driver ahead. There's a really, really good section here as we approach the... Never mind, we don't approach it. I just misread the time. 23 minutes left, or by the way, remaining. We've got 50 minutes done and dusted just about. As Juan Alvarez on that inside line. What a move! The 135 car. Whew! Hot and heavy, but it is not over yet. He's got quite the problem ahead of him alongside through this right-hander downhill, trying to find anything he can. That Ferrari goes a bit wide and let the other Ferrari, Equal Machinery, back into this. I believe they clatter that back bumper just a bit. Nobody unsettled. Alvarez will maintain that spot because of that contact. 25 car, Daniel will remain behind.
Yeah, some hard racing, that's for sure. And Juan Alvarez gets the job done. Not a bad move whatsoever, and that one was certainly paid off. And now behind, we have Daniel getting lapped by Harold McDonald. And up the field, I think our closest battle really on track right now is Mason Perchalski and Anthony Kelly. We do have a few more drivers that still need to make their pit stops. Ruggiero Santos, Jace Wright, as well as Kenneth Portis and Quinn Smith, which really leaves me in an interesting position here, as I'm curious where Wilson Fernandez is going to fall in relation to Quinn Smith. Currently 4.5 seconds behind Jace Wright. Jace Wright 10 seconds, or I guess totally 10 seconds behind Ricardo Rivera. Quinn Smith is going to be needing to make at least 50 seconds of a stop. Has he cost himself P2 at this stage?
He may have. It's not what you want to see for Fernandez there, but he's got a massive gap to that car ahead. Rather, the car ahead that is ahead of him. As we see a pit stop from Kenneth Portis, that Honda NSX, second in the points so far, but not second for this race. They'll be overtaken by drivers who are on their lead lap after the pit, as Ricardo Rivera overtakes a back marker there, that Ferrari, or rather that Ferrari of Fear Nothing Moto. Nope, that's not.
Nope.
That's Daniel. Gosh, dude. The black, white, and red, I saw FNM on the scoreboard. I was like, close enough. As what is the best Descendants movie? My sister really liked those movies when I was a kid. I never watched them. I'm sorry. Sorry, Stream Espresso. At least I know what you're talking about this time. That's a good start.
I'm still left in the blue. That's fine. Just pay no mind to the man in front of the curtain here. That's
reading chat sometimes it's like a concussion, but it's a good concussion. I really do enjoy it. You guys are excellent to talk to, and I appreciate all of the support the other section. Descendants too. My sister liked that one. I know that. My sister watched one of them a lot. I think it was two. Some Carson lore there is Tyler Carr looking to place his car right past the other equally enormous machine is Ali Raza in ninth. Or Ali Raza tries to take ninth rather from him ahead. It is I will say quite the holdup for Ali Raza at Brands Hatch. Not the track you would want to go last to first in, as they all touch that little cement part of the dirt there. So I gotta keep your car on. Ali Raza though, the 30th. Another car is right nearly into the back bumper. We see a lot of that black splitter of the 69 car is all there through that other section. If we head to the straight, you might have a chance here. See, you've got the better exit. I believe it was going to be Carr from that brake section there, but he's got a little bit faster. The FNM car trying to get an overtake while he tries to defend. Bit of a multitasker here, but there's been tons of racing here throughout the years as Ali Raza looks towards the inside. Can't do it. He has to go nip and tuck, but like, tons of racing here so far. What a history of this track.
Yeah, absolutely. This track has been around the block. It started its days a very, very long time ago, back in the 50s, as a grass circuit that raced what, Carson? What was originally raced here?
Well, it was bicycles, Mike. In the first ever race here, it was turned to asphalt in 1950, not to actually. In 1926, the first race at Brands Hatch was taken, and it was a race between cross-country runners and bicyclists, and you might be surprised to hear the cyclists lost, Mike. They lost to the runners, and they had a world champion, an Australian world champion by the name of... I don't know where the note is.
Thank you very much for the follow, Instain. It's Ain Killer. Thank you very much for the follow. I think I butchered that, but much appreciated.
Jackie Hubin there is Ali Raza getting a bit of a flash. Not happy from Alex Alfonso. That was a little bit of a cheeky move there, but at Brands Hatch with so little room on track, just probably about 3 cars wide in some sections. That's not what you want to see from him, and not what you want to see from him starting from the back, especially here. It is so tough to overtake here, and Ali Raza manages to get it done. 9th place for him as he is hawking down 8th car, trying to find anything he can. But I think it might be a little bit inevitable with that golden Mustang behind.
Yeah, I think it is a matter of when, not if, but again, we are at Brands Hatch, and this is one of those tracks that is so difficult to make a move on, and we saw that earlier. Even getting by back markers can be very difficult if they don't comprehend, or cooperate, excuse me, with the front markers. And there, Ollie Raza, he has, well, not a back marker to contend with. This is for position. And Tyler Carr, he's not going to hand this over. We know how much practice Tyler has put in preparation for this event. So the question is, can he get it done?
Chat with another banger as usual, I have to say. You will have no idea what that means. Is Ollie Raza unshaken as he sees that other section? Rather, he is very shaken. Carr there loses the car nearly. Touches a bit of dirt, but both cars remain all right. Ollie Raza does get that position. The ninth car is absolutely... Ninth place car, rather, is absolutely happy that that car managed to live through that excursion. That was almost directly into the wall at about 150 miles an hour. It felt like that would not have been a fun front engine experience for that Mustang. Goodness.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, to be completely honest. I see that it is a song.
It is a phenomenon, I believe. It is a Chaperone song. And I do enjoy Chaperone quite a bit myself. Listened to Chaperone last Wednesday West Coast while I was driving. Kept me cool, kept me calm. Definitely recommend that artist there. But Ollie Raza in 8th place has been quite the artist himself. You have seen him jump from 32nd to 8th as he chases the top of the grid. Now Wilson Fernandez behind him in the standings, looking for his, I believe, his first ever TRACKILICIOUS, or rather his third TRACKILICIOUS League Championship here in this series. And 5th is going to do him a great job because he's kind of in 3rd right now.
Oh my goodness!
The other section is, oh no! That's Jace Wright. Jace Wright clattered by the car ahead, it seems, as he's sideways.
That was a back marker. So this is exactly what I was talking about, pretty much. This is a exact incident of what can happen at Brands Hatch. So that is unfortunately going to be Daniel ahead here in the Ferrari. He tries to move off to the side, but you can see the back end gets lost there, and he snaps mid-corner. Gets collected, though, into Jace Wright, who is pretty much an innocent bystander, and gets punted off to the side. And let's try to keep the Formula One talk to an absolute minimum here, chat, but Stream Elements, yes. Or Stream Espresso, not Stream Elements. Stream Espresso, yes.
I keep reading as Stream Elements. I've managed not to say it, but I was almost like, yes, hello, Stream Elements. I don't think Stream Elements would say too many of that, but yes, F1 spoilers. Keep it to a minimum. There's people that haven't watched the race yet, though I highly recommend, as soon as you can, check the highlights at the very least. Chase Wright, the 63 car. It might be a bit of watching highlights tonight because that is a very rough way to lose. What might have been a really high finish for him he's been looking for is, I can't read that name.
That is going to be Sweet Lou. TMR Sweet Lou. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated. And Stefan Buckley, how is it going? Stefan, long time no see, and I hope you are doing well, man. That is absolutely gutting to hear, and I hope all is well with you, and you can recover soon enough to get back out on circuit, or at least back to your normal life. That is the most important.
And a quick reminder for the drivers. Quick reminder for the drivers, if you are looking to report an incident during the race, you can jump into the link. They will have the incidents checked and reported by some point throughout the night, and we'll be out tomorrow. But yes, if you've been involved in an incident, make sure you report. Vidiko Stitsiev's teammate definitely will be tonight, but the 14 place car is just trying to chase Connolly. He's got a really, really good exit on that section, but he can't overtake. Not enough room. The Lamborghini, though, trying to get a better exit here, as he definitely will. The Aston Martin getting tailed by that blue and yellow car. Anything to see there. A bit of a old Renault colors in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, and he's going for it now to the outside. As a little bit of contact there, it looked like. I think the camera angle just playing a bit of tricks on us as we go into Druids. Not going to be getting it done just yet. He does have a good lunge, though, to the outside. Again, if you can actually make a move to the outside in Druids, you're going to be a lot more likely to get the overtake done. However, it's a lot more risky due to the dirty line, and that right there is what can happen. You get some marbles on your tires, and your traction goes from good to absolutely minimal, almost like you are on a slip and slide. Also, Adam Strange with the 2 Bitteroos. Thank you so much. Just wanted to make it an even 120. And what is the best Digimon season? I never watched Digimon. I was a Pokemon kid, so.
Yeah, me too. I will die on the hill that Pokemon was better and is better. But, you know, I can imagine after being in a cabin, kind of like The Great Gatsby, I would compare that to, by a lake. You watch a lot of Digimon, maybe watch everything you can. with only a lake to swim in between sections. But Mason Pierchalski did an excellent job. He's got back-to-the-back bumper of the 11th car 1.5 seconds earlier, but some back markers and the car changing certainly helped for him. Just 0.4 off from the Ferrari ahead.
Yes, indeed. And Mason Pierchalski trying his absolute heart out right now, trying to get into the top 10 once again. Hasn't been, actually, it's been 5 positions gained for Mason Pierchalski. I thought he started up higher than that. No, it's been a pretty solid race, 17th to 12th, and looking to maybe make it a 13th. We will, or make it into 11th, I should say. Hopefully he doesn't make it into 13th for his sake, but I don't find that likely. Behind him is Ramsey Connolly, who's in a fight of his own with Vadik Odstitsiev, battling the heart out for 13th. 13 seconds behind Mason Pierchalski.
One thing I do want to point out, Mike, what have those pit timers been looking like? Because Quinn Smith sits 42 seconds ahead of Ricardo Rivera right now. And I'm very curious where he's going to come out, and I think that's going to be massively important as we head to Spa next weekend. These championship standings, they're going to be very, very close. It is going to be an absolutely excellent race at Spa. I would highly recommend tuning into that in just 7 days, almost said 24 hours. 24 hours times 7, I can't do that math, but if you're looking for more action, we've got plenty the entire week. We mentioned the calendar earlier. I don't really think we're going to go over it right now, but if you'd like to get to it, you can. So much to watch. And Saturday, make sure you tune in 11 a.m. Eastern. We've got Panorama for 6 hours, and it's going to be, I think, dark, cold, and rainy. So anything but there. As you've seen a lot of that at Panorama, a slide from Odstitsiev as he keeps it straight. Whew, what a save.
Yeah, and Steve, thank you very much for the follow as well. Welcome to the team here at Trackalicious. We appreciate everybody that is joining us. We're getting ever so closer to our other follower goal. 77 followers to go before we hit 2,300. It's been an amazing year so far, and we thank you guys so much for all of the support throughout. From, I think, all of us at the Trackalicious team, me especially, but I think that same can go for Carson and Eric as well, especially. And this man himself, Professor Chronotis, who is one of the heavy hitters in the admin team, but unfortunately maybe had a heavy hit to the wall here. Let's go back and take a look.
Oh, no. I'll see Coronis here. I think this might be one of his own mistakes. Has been quite the subject of them today. And yep, back end gets loose. Bit of a pirouette, but he keeps it out of the wall. Hard hitting, but a beautiful save. Absolutely. I'm going 10. Kept that
fair enough.
Boy on track. Yeah, I mean, that's a wall for me. I'm doing that. I'm not even spinning. I'm just sideways into that wall at 1,000,000 miles an hour. My car is toast. Mike, we actually saw that happen the last time I raced Brands Hatch. So, unfortunate, but unfortunate for Professor Chronotis. Never mind, that's not for position. That is a front marker going ahead. That's Bruno Pio sitting 6th in championship points and 6 overall.
Yeah, and on your point just that you made before, Carson, when it comes to pit stops, so if you do decide to make tires here, you're going to be looking at about 52 to 55 seconds, I would say, in pit lane. However, Kenneth Portis II elected to not take tires. Wilson Fernandez did. We can see the lap time difference already playing in effect. 0.4 per lap is the difference right now. But that also gained in pit lane a solid 22 seconds. So it's about a 20-second difference over the rest of the pack if you do decide to not take tires, if you only go for fuel. So Quinn Smith almost certainly just taking fuel and looking at that stop time at about 35 to 40 seconds. He should be safe to take the race lead, actually, off of strategy over Ricardo Rivera.
Yeah, and if you're curious about how that's going to work in the point standings, Quinn Smith is in the driver's seat by about 3 points over Kenneth Portis. Portis in third right now is not going to be too happy that he does not finish in that second step because he was going to need it to keep it ahead of Quinn Smith 1, but Quinn Smith will increase his gap by about 6 points over everybody else towards second place. We've got excellent racing, though, as Ricardo Rivera will obviously, I think, move into second with that finish, maybe tie Kenneth Portis. They're about 4 points apart. It has been an absolutely excellent race for all these guys so far. Fernandez, though, I believe... No, Rivera will move into second place. I apologize. But Rivera has yet to win a race so far this season. Missed last week, second, third, and second before that. Round 5, maybe not the one for him. Just unlucky with that pit strategy. Quinn Smith did it better, I assume. Or we'll have to see if Quinn Smith does it better. But right now, looking on paper, Mike, it looks better. But on paper, it's not where we drive.
Nope, not in all. And Ollie Raza, by the way, 30 positions gained so far, and he's caught the back of Bruno Pio. He's looking to make that a 31st. I don't think he can gain another one after this. However, this has still been an incredible drive from Ollie Raza. I will find it hard to believe No, he is going to... What am I talking about? He actually is going to gain another position. Ruggiero Santos hasn't pit yet. So this is 2 positions potentially still on the cards. Are we going to see an Ollie Raza last to P5 again? This is the 2nd time he's done that.
Yeah, and I think not qualifying has led to his detriment. He'd be leading this championship otherwise. But, oh my goodness, Ollie is just absolutely rapid out there. And 5th place overall, again, will be excellent from 37th. Been excellent there. That Razzle Dazzle Motorsports machine has been razzling and dazzling, to say the very least. The car has been absolutely great. As we head towards Druids, Ollie Raza going to have an opportunity. He'll look towards that outside line, pick up some marbles, trying to get a run on Pio. He won't be able to do it. He'll have to go nip and tuck. Not a better exit. Gained some marbles, lost some tire, and that is not what he wants to see. But he'll have more time. 8 minutes remain in this race.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time, and that is going to be, what was going on back there? Patrick Dubois and Professor Cronotis having a scrap for position, actually.
They both went off. But Dubois, a bit of a worse of it in Rally Cross Mustang. As Wilson Fernandez, though, all over the back of this back bumper, looking for a podium finish here to move himself up the standings. Kenneth Portis, a rookie to the Trackalicious community. The 84 has had an excellent first year, sitting in 2nd, but Fernandez backs off. I'm not sure what happened there. He goes a bit wide, lifts off the gas, and he's lost some time. I don't know what happened there.
He's sticking in the favor. He's still in the competition here. I think that was just a little bit of an offline for Wilson Fernandez. Nothing really lost at this point. It's just sort of objects in mirror are closer than they appear, I think, from that camera. The mistake looked a little bit worse than it actually was.
Yeah, I just looked at the timing. It was about 2/10 that he lost on that offline and got it back immediately through Druids. So that battle will continue. And as they head towards Druids, Ollie Raza trying to get alongside that red and yellow Ferrari machine, but just can't. The Mustang does not have the pace in the turns, it seems like the Ferrari does. And he just gets all that time in the states and the turns, but just can't get around. As Ollie Raza, a bit of a wider line, going to be cleaner, unsettled, and he can't get the position here as I head toward Cooper Straight. That car is going to be rougher and rougher, be harder and harder to get Bruno Pio as they go.
Yeah, I actually was talking with Ollie about this problem that he's having, we're seeing right now, and this is just due to the fact that he doesn't really like the Ford Mustang that much. He hasn't been too big of a fan. He doesn't like the front engine nature of it. It's a very understeery car that has an absolute brick ton of power. It has basically enough torque to pull down the Sistine Chapel. And beyond that, it is just, oh, and there's a lovely overtake, actually. My goodness, I didn't think that was going to be able to happen. Bruno Pio, though, is going to get overtaken on the outside of Hawthorne Bend. Absolutely incredible. Goes a little bit deep, but Ollie, like I say, he just hasn't been liking the kind of torque steer that you get with this car. You press the throttle just slightly too hard, and that right there is going to be the result. The back end will go sliding out from underneath you.
Yeah, Ollie Raza really does not like this car, and I think that was a little bit of an understatement. Whenever you ask about the Ford Mustang, I feel like Ollie just like drops down, a little bit of a posture change in Ollie Raza in that car. But that just tells you how good of a driver he is. 6th place in a car he doesn't like and doesn't have a great time driving. He ran a BMW last season. No, that was someone else. Apologies. That was Gabriel Felipe I was thinking of, who ran the BMW a few seasons ago. But Wilson Fernandez in that BMW on chasing a car on older tires and a worse car on older tires, can't seem to get around. Kenneth Portis II doing an excellent job here, keeping himself on the podium, and he's going to need those points as we head to Spa. This is a scrap and a half, and this will be very, very important because people could win the championship by 4 or 5 positions, and the difference between these two slots is about 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, and that will be absolutely huge come the next few races. But really, I think it's going to be just about showing what you can do to your competitors at the stage. Going to be a moral hit if Wilson Fernandez doesn't get this position. We've seen Wilson on top multiple times in the past. It's been a while, though, since we've seen him on the top step of the podium. And I wonder if that's just due to practice or due to real life or what. But I'd love to see that pace back from the Vacuum Racing driver here. And full onboard lap for the number 52. I do apologize, but it is a little bit too late to be doing a full onboard lap. We're going to be sticking with this podium battle, and I can't tune off of this one, unfortunately. I do apologize for that, Jaden.
Yes,
and what race is this? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Round 5 here. Out of 7. Next week we got Spa, and then after that we'll head to the coast of the Adriatic for the finale at Misano, and that's not one you're going to want to miss. It'll be in 24 times 14 hours, so 2 weeks. if you're counting like a normal person. Patrick Dubois, a little bit off there. Oh my goodness, that is one heck of a front end. Great look at that naturally aspirated V8 engine. Whew.
Yeah. Can really see the 5.4 liter Coyote engine underneath the hood there, and certainly is improving the cooling, but not what the aerodynamicists had drawn up. And he is actually affected so much by this that he's going to be making another stop here, and that is very interesting. Also, Quinn Smith has made his stop, by the way, managed for an 11-second stationary time, and has resumed in the lead, 4.2 seconds ahead of Ricardo Rivera. I do not think Ricardo Rivera can make the time up in this 4 minutes. He'd have to make up a second per lap plus an overtake. That is a bit of a stretch when you're talking about Quinn Smith.
Absolutely. Quinn Smith has been rapid all year. He takes the driver's seat of the championship and this race so far, as yes, it is a fortnight until this final championship. But my computer I don't know if anybody's ever had this problem with a bad CPU. I just got flashed of a random image on my files. I don't even know what the... Anyway, Ricardo Rivera, the 787, has been flying, and flying away like my computer will be to heaven very soon. It is...
Did I say 4.5? Because I meant to say 5.4 if I said 4.5. I dyslexicked it. That sounds like something that I can do. I thought I said 5.4, but I must have not. So thank you for correcting me on that one.
Yes, say Camaro this time.
I haven't yet. I did say 4 liter. I said 4 point something, didn't I? But either way. I said 5.4? Yeah, like... I thought I said 5.4. Okay. Thank you, Steve Phoenix. I appreciate you. I thought I said 5.4. I was going to say, I know that one off the top of my head.
Mike, I love you, but I was barely listening.
Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah. I wasn't too focused on the numbers. I knew it was the engine in the car. I got V8 naturally aspirated. As Wilson Fernandez still unable to get too much against that red, white, orange, and yellow car ahead of him. He is absolutely on those fresher tires, just can't seem to find the pace. Kenneth Portis has done an excellent job keeping himself ahead. The Acura is just anything, or the Honda is anything but overtakeable, it seems right now. It's looking as wide as a Mustang.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you can call it an Acura. It's all right. It is the Acura NSX at the end of the day. It's just here in America, we call it the Honda, which is a very odd one. I've never really understood that, to be completely honest. But hey, neither here nor there. We also have Tyler Carr trying to make an overtake onto Bruno Pio. Bruno's been going backwards, and I think that's due to the fact that he did not take tires in his pit stop, and this should be a fairly easy overtake for Tyler Carr. We know it's not the easiest track to overtake on, and especially when you're making moves like that, the back end getting very frisky there for Tyler, and that is going to have to be pretty much another lap around the track here at Brands Hatch before he'll have another opportunity.
That may be his last opportunity, though, or rather his second to last opportunity, or yes, the next lap being his last opportunity. We've got 1 minute and 14 seconds left. Quinn Smith absolutely rapid out there tonight. The Tyler Carr going to do everything he can to the other sections, but my computer will be missed, I feel like. It has been very, very good, and we had an absolutely clutch moment, stayed alive during the 6 hour, then didn't turn on for 2 days, then came back to life randomly. So anything for TRACKILICIOUS, my computer says, as it chugs onward despite being in its final days. I'm going to college in like a month, so hopefully it lasts until then. But Tyler Carr doing everything he can to try and stay ahead, or rather try and stay with him. But honestly, if he makes another mistake like that, he won't have another chance. This will be the penultimate lap for these two. The 69 car trying to go along on the outside. Bruno Pio not letting it happen. He does a great line to that inside line on a bit of a bull as Carr going to be right through that other section. Can't make a mistake like he did last time. Outside line, he's doing everything he can. He's jeopardizing his exit like this, though.
Yeah, certainly. So I'm trying to keep an eye as well on the Wilson Fernandez battle. I'm not seeing anything happen, but the drive down the start finish straight into the inside of Paddock Hill Bend, and Tyler Carr, he has found the weakness that he's been looking for in Bruno Pio for a few laps now. That is position 6 granted for Tyler Carr. Up ahead, not the same story for Wilson Fernandez. He is not finding his way onto the podium just yet, and he is certainly running out of time, Carson.
I believe this
my
is the
goodness.
final lap. Ooh, this is the final lap on the other end. Tipped those tires in the dirt. That is not what he wants to see. The 8 car just cannot get it, and there'll be a mental hit for sure for Fernandez, who's yet to find the podium in his few races here. 5th place, he'll definitely stay there. I think, unfortunately, as Quinn Smith crosses the line in 1st place, the 888 car will extend his lead, going to Spa-Francorchamps next week. He is definitely happy about that. He'll pull over. Ricardo Rivera will increase his championship lead, but it'll be tough for him to catch Quinn Smith now, as he is going to have to drag it to Mazzano. Kenneth Portis finishes in third ahead of the BMW. An excellent job to stave off Wilson Fernandez, who'll be kicking himself after that. The Brazilian doing everything he can, and can't forget the comeback drive. The Razzle Dazzle Motorsports machine, golden in its comeback drive. Relatively untouched paint. Maybe a little bit of contact there, but that 30 car will be piloted by Ollie Raza to the finish line. 37th to 5th. The Canadian is absolutely electric so far.
Yeah, 32 positions gained for Ollie Raza, an absolute masterclass of a performance. Tyler Carr certainly is going to be happy with his results as well. Unfortunately, did drop 2 positions, but still a P6, not going to be anything to shake a stick at. Bruno Pio picking a strategy that didn't quite work out for him at the end of the day. It worked out for Quinn. Not the same could be said, though, for the Brazilian driver here in the number 14 Ferrari. Andre Alex Alfonso in the Nissan GTR finishing in the top 10. He started in 9th, managing to gain, or started in 10th actually, gain 2 positions up into 8th with the likes of Jace right behind. Jace falling off of 3 positions from P6. And Ruggiero Santos rounding out your top 10 up 9 positions.
Great finish from Santos. Has not had too much luck earlier in the season. Finished 26th in a few races, I know. But great work from him to get top 10, as that'll keep Andre Alex Alfonso and Jace Wright probably going up a little bit. Alfonso in 7th, I believe. Jace Wright right behind him in 8th. They'll move up together towards 6th and 7th. And if you're wondering about your championship battle, nothing has changed, I believe. I think it's literally all the same. Let me check the finishing here. As Ricardo Rivera does finish in 2nd, but Kenneth Portis is in 3rd, so that gap will decrease by 1 point, but everybody will stay in the same spot, and Ollie Raza will lose those 2 a little bit, and Quinn Smith will extend his lead by, it looks like, 6 points to 11. 11 points between these drivers in 1st and 2nd. What an excellent race, and what an excellent championship we have so far.
Yeah, it certainly is. And what a race we've had here tonight. Brands Hatch never failing to deliver. And as you said, Spa next week is going to be an absolute treat for these drivers. As we try to round up some of our podium sitters here, we are looking for the interviews. And has anybody jumped into the green room? It looks like yes, they have. And starting us off, we'll start off with P3, Kenneth Portis II. Let's get him in here. And we have it here. Kenneth Portis, I think, has had a chance to catch up with Carson.
Hey, Kenneth, great race so far. Nice job on the P3. I wanted to talk through that defensive section. You had a great defense at the end of the race on old tires. Talk us through that and talk about defending against Wilson Fernandez, who was all over your back bumper for what felt like 10 to 20 minutes.
That was very tense, and it was difficult, both to keep the pace up, not give him any openings, and of course there is lap traffic to navigate. So yeah, it was very tough, but I was glad I was able to hold on.
Yeah, did a great job there. That'll move you, or rather keep you in 2nd place in the championship, so good on that end. What's gone into driving the Honda NSX? Because it has been absolutely electric to see a car of that caliber punching up, to say at the very least, up a few leagues. What's gone into practicing with that, and how much practice do you do weekly to try and keep that NSX all together?
I do a lot. It's a really great car. A lot of people sleep on it because you have to put a lot of work into it. But I do a good bit of practice. It's hard to say how much, like put a number on it, but maybe somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 4 hours. That's like the minimum I like to show up to a league race with. I did have a little bit of pace to try and find at this track, so I might have put in a little bit more. But yeah, all in all, it's a great car, and glad I was able to make it shine for everybody.
Yeah, amazing job out there. Really did make it shine, to say the least, and have been making it shine all season. Kenneth, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
I would like to thank my wife, because in the middle of the race I was shouting, and so surely that could have disturbed her out in the living room. So I want to say I'm sorry. I apologize for any inconvenience, but I want to thank her for allowing me to have a place and peace and able to do it without it takes 2 to make it work. So thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
Shouting
Kenneth.
out Shouting out the wives of all of the sim racers, I think, is also just a fair bit. Kenneth Portis, though, thank you very much, and good luck in your next races, brother.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Next up, we have Ricardo Rivera finishing off in P2 here tonight. Not a bad result, but you started off in P1. Didn't quite get the strategy right. Is that, I think, really the only thing you did wrong?
Actually, I don't think that changing the strategy and going the same way as Quinn Smith will have gave me the win. To be honest, he had a pretty good pace with full tank of fuel. I tried in practice and I was way too slow for that strategy to pay it off at the end. And because of the VOP with the McLaren, it's a 45 kilogram difference between the Mustang and the McLaren. It hurts the tires a lot. So I start losing pace, like by going, I think, with full tank. So I'm pitting it by the end, not changing tires.
Makes sense. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off here, Ricardo, but I do have to address a raid that we've just had, Mr. Blackout 81, with a raiding party of 48. Welcome, raiders. I do apologize. We are getting to the conclusion of the stream. We had a 75-minute race here for the GT3s at the Brands Hatch circuit, and we are now in the driver interview. So welcome, all raiders. If this is a championship that you are interested in joining, there are plenty of information over on SimGrid, but we'll be getting into that in a little bit. But we do thank you and welcome all raiders. But Ricardo, sorry about that. And in terms of your pace out there tonight, you were pretty dominant. I mean, all in all, as you mentioned, the strategy wasn't quite right. You just didn't have the overall pace at the end of the day to get the result. But how do you feel as we head over towards Spa?
Spa, I think going the long way is gonna pay off the end. At least the McLaren there can run pretty low, win and be fast in the straight. I think finally they can compete with the Mustang there in top end speed, because the Mustang is pretty quick in the straight. It was a short track, but it have a lot of top end speed at the longer straight tracks.
Makes sense. Now, Ricardo, before we move on here tonight, is there anybody that you would like to thank for your P2 finish?
Everyone from Puerto Rico who's always watching, and that my team, that they play more Gran Turismo than ACC, but they have to make the change finally at some time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Get them over here. Get them into the Trackalicious leagues. They are more than welcome. But Ricardo Rivera, thank you so much, and congratulations on your P2 finish tonight.
See ya, guys.
Last but not least, Quinn Smith, our race winner here tonight. And Carson, why don't you take this one?
Well, Quinn, you're P1 in the championship. You managed to maintain it, and with all the pressure in the world, you show us pressure is just for tires. You move your extension out to 11 points over second place. Just tell me overall, how did that one feel? With what a beautiful strategy that was.
Oh, it was very tough. No, I'm just kidding. It was all candles and chilling. No, seriously though, it was tough. About around pit cycle, I was starting to think, like, should I pit? These tires aren't feeling too great. Should I just pit? I made the decision to stay out, and the longer the race went on, I was like, I might be eating this decision because Ricardo was closing quick, and I honestly thought he was going to catch up and put on a fight with me.
Yeah, it seems the ballast unfortunately caught him on tire wear and just couldn't get enough time. And you were right about the pit strategy by about 7 seconds. And Quinn, as we head towards Spa, then Misano after, what's it going to take to win this championship?
Well, I don't know if I'll win it. I won't be here next week. I'm going on a vacation, so next week will be a drop week for me. At Misano, I'm kind of just I hope everyone wrecks. I obviously don't want that as a person, but I mean, championship-wise, that's really my only hope, I think.
Yeah, if you remember anybody from the last time Sunday GT3 was at Misano, we had our first restart of the 2024 year and our only restart of the 2024 year. So we'll hope it keeps it cleaner than that. It was just bad luck in a bad situation, but we'll hope that if it does happen, Quinn, you'll be ahead of it. Thank you very much, Quinn. Is there anybody you would like to thank?
Oh, you guys at Trackalicious, obviously, you know. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. We wouldn't be here without you guys and the people that watch and provide you guys the ability to commentate for.
Thank you very much, Quinn. Have an excellent night. Good luck at Mizano. You get an earlier practice than everybody else. They have to do spa. You get a 5th place drop round, which is the best of all the drop rounds remaining in the top 4 if you are curious. Excellent position you're in. Good luck at Mizano. We'll see you then in a fortnight. But I think that's going to be all she wrote from us tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's been quite the race tonight. Quite the championship that we have on our hands, and the drama seems to be spicing up. No Quinn Smith next week is going to make the championship even more exciting. So, Carson, I cannot wait.
I am absolutely enamored and very, very excited to be back here next week. Make sure you tune in 7 days, but in 6 days, I do want to plug it once again. 11 a.m. Eastern. Do not forget. 6 hours of Mount Panorama. I think it's going to be dark, cold, and rainy.
I also have one more thing to add, sorry. Before we go, we have had at Trackalicious yesterday, we had the Waterford Hills Track Day, and a big thank you to anybody that did show up to that one. But upcoming, we do have the Gingerman Raceway on August 3rd. If that's something, if you are in the Michigan area and looking to have a nice track day, maybe meet Eric in real life, meet some of the other Trackalicious members, head on over to the trackalicious.com, link in chat onto what is up next. And again, that's going to be at Gingerman Raceway on August 3rd and 4th. The first 40 registers also get a bonus and a discount on the 2 days if they are the early birds. So if you are looking at that, highly, highly recommend. If I could go, if I was over in the Midwest, I certainly would like to participate, but I'm over in Seattle and it is not going to work out for me. But that is all, Carson, that I have to add.
Yeah, I live in the Midwest, but not going to make it, unfortunately. I did actually check this time, but I can't make the drive. I have, unfortunately, other obligations that weekend, but it's been excellent in the booth. I've been Carson Kass. I'll remain to be Carson Kass throughout the rest. Joining me in the booth, talking you through the action tonight was Mike Nause. Absolutely excellent stream we had tonight. Excellent racing. Be back next week. We've got Spa on the table as the championship will be dragged through that across the English Channel. Mike, I can't even believe how good this has gone and how close we are. I wanted to say a quick shout out just at the end of this to everybody who has been watching the streams. I've been really, really enjoying this. This has been an excellent opportunity to further my broadcasting career. But that's going to be all she wrote. Hearing the fat lady sing, Mike. Everybody, have a good night. Stay safe.